What's up, guys? I'm Jaden Stevens, and I'm joined with
Sarate Vongsa,
Devin Ortega,
Jacob Roden.
welcome to the All My Friends Are Warriors podcast.
and yes, we did say all my friends are warriors. As you guys can see, we are in a somewhat different setup.
Yeah.
We got much more books,
Mhm.
different in a lot of ways. You guys can't quite see the difference,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but
So
trust
we switched
me,
studios.
It's much different.
Yeah.
Previously, we were at our school, and we planned to have all these episodes
Yeah, like
on Mighty
around
Miners.
25
around
episodes.
25 episodes.
Yeah.
But due to a lot of things that kind of impacted that and made it much more difficult to do that, we graduated, a lot of restrictions, and just all of that, and summer break really just impacted all of that. So we thought it'd be a great idea to switch now, because we would have switched no matter what. We would have switched to All My Friends Are Warriors somewhere down the line.
Yeah.
But
And so
it just happened.
the Mighty Miners studio, it treated us really well. We got a whole bunch of good things done in that
Yeah.
studio, but we thought it'd be time to move on to bigger and better things. And so
and
we moved to the new studio.
we get a lot more freedom. We have much more opportunity. We are our own bosses.
Yeah.
We don't have to follow these rules that could be corrupt, could not be. Just kind of, we get to make our own rules, and we get to follow them as
Exactly.
we please, and
Our own little bosses. Kind of.
our own bosses. Yeah, and
Yeah.
it gives us more opportunity.
Yeah. And so, jumping into the episode. So basically, today's episode, we're gonna be going over because how we went to a small school. We're just gonna be talking about like our experiences at our small school, and I guess like the first thing that we'll talk about is I really want to ask Jake's because I know you went to a small school before you came to the last school, or to the school that we were at.
Yeah.
But did you go to any other like bigger school like before that or like? What?
I actually have. I went to a bigger school before I went to my last school and then this school that I'm currently at. It was not like an insanely big school. It was decent, probably around like 500 kids.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, still a lot bigger.
Still much bigger than ours.
Yeah, a lot bigger than ours.
Yeah.
But how much do you think?
We had
We had
like
about
probably like,
about
a
100
little
kids.
more than 100, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
And there's a big difference between a big school and a small school, and a lot of people don't realize that. I think the school that I was at, it was a primary, so it was from like kindergarten to third grade, I think, and it was all just these separate friend groups from kindergarten to first grade. They didn't really associate. They were just a friend group and a friend group. And then first grade, second grade didn't really associate, and so on. And then at this school, because we have a smaller school, it's 6th through 8th grade in our class, and then the lower class is like first grade to 4th or something like that.
Yeah.
And then that's really allowed us to all get really close and then like bond with each other. And if it wasn't for the school, if it wasn't for a small school, I wouldn't be on the podcast with you guys because I'm in 7th grade and you guys are now in high school.
Yeah.
But this last year I was in 6th grade and you guys were in 8th. I really wouldn't have been able to associate with you guys.
Yeah.
And a smaller school being a more tightly knit family, which is I'd say one of the pros.
Yeah.
To where getting to know everyone's in smaller communities, you see it all the time. Everyone knows each other's names. Everyone's basically friends with each other.
Yeah.
And it just creates more of a community.
Yeah.
So that really did give us an opportunity
Yeah.
to become friends with a 6th grader as an 8th grader. And I'd also like to point out when I was in like 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th grade, I knew the older kids and I was friends with the older kids.
Yeah.
Not super close friends, but I knew them.
Because there's that, like maturity, like kind of like that thing. It kind of like goes in
there's
between.
different levels, but
yeah, no,
for sure I still knew them,
and like especially like knowing like everybody, like at a bigger school, like because I have friends that go to bigger schools. Like I asked them, do you know the 7th grader or like do you know this 6th grader? And they're like, no, I've never heard that name before. And I'm like, how have you never heard that name before? But then I remember that I go to a smaller school. Like I know this little kid that goes in the kindergarten classroom. And I know him pretty well. Like we're pretty good friends. That's not how it works in the bigger schools.
Not at all. You never see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it worked at the school that I went to previously. Everybody was just separated. Nobody really got to talk to each other. It was just the grades used to get to talk to each other.
Yeah. I went before I came to our school because I've been to 2 schools in my life. The first school that I went to, I went from kindergarten. So I did 2 years of kindergarten, So 2 years of kindergarten, first and second, I got held back in kindergarten. But I remember one time, this kid came up to me, right? Because at my old school, there were bullies, right? Because
Yeah.
you know it's not too much of a family.
Yeah.
And he came up to me, literally didn't say anything to me. He came up to me, he's a little short kid, came up to me, put his hand on my neck, and like tried to choke me. And I was like, what the heck are you doing?
Sugar things out of it.
Yeah, and then now, that same kid that did that to me, years later, because I'm starting to get back in contact with some of the kids that went to my old school, came up to me, he was like, "Geez, Jaden, you got bigger. I would not mess with you ever again." There's also another time where a kid took my Pokemon cards.
Oh.
Took all the best cards. I think
Oh.
it was like the EXs are like the best cards.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't
Took
know.
all of them.
Yeah.
Didn't give him back. That kid now plays football for one of the teams that we're gonna play against. And
You better get your get back.
yeah, I'm definitely gonna get my get back.
Don't let
Throw a
that
couple,
slide.
maybe throw a couple touchdowns on him, but
Yeah.
but yeah. So that was my experience out of my big school, and my experiences at my small school. I've never gotten bullied before. Well, one time, but then Seabass came and saved my butt. But yeah, there hasn't been really anything like that at this school, and I'm super glad for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And-
I can't really speak on, big school experience because I've only been at the small school my whole life. But definitely for the small school experiences, it's more of like a family. I haven't been bullied. Actually, no, in like kindergarten. Kindergarten, that's when our school was still bigger than what we are now. So not big, but still bigger.
Mm.
Yeah.
And a lot more things weren't really looked at and stopped.
Right.
But so I think in a period for kindergarten, I did get bullied for a little bit. But so
Your little jeans that were like 5
bro, they
sizes
would
too
always
big.
go over my feet, literally covering my shoes. Bro, I could have been barefoot. No one would have known. I'm serious.
That would have been
There's
bad
so many
for
funny
you.
pictures
that
of it.
That would have been bad for you.
But so yeah, I think at a smaller school, it's much more family, much more tightly knit, and we're all together. So
Yeah.
that's kind of my biggest takeaway from being at a small school. That's definitely my favorite experience of just knowing everyone and just getting to know everyone.
Yeah.
I actually have a question because I didn't go to the smaller schools when I was very young. I started going to a smaller school when I was 4th grade. When you were in kindergarten at a small school, did you still like associate with like not like just like the 4th graders, but like higher up? Did you still see them?
Yeah, we would see him quite a bit actually, because in aftercare we would go to the
yeah.
playground, and generally kindergartners would be out at the same playground as an 8th grader and
Yeah.
to play games with them.
Yeah, I mean, at my before I went to my 2 smaller schools, at my big school, I don't think we really ever see. Say I was in like 1st grade, I don't think I'd ever see the 2nd or 3rd graders, unless it was at like lunchtime of them like passing out of the building
Yeah.
of the lunch area because we all had separate times because it was such a big school.
Yeah.
That I think that was really the only time, or other at recess maybe, that we'd associate with the older.
That's how it was a few years ago, until our school got like actually super small, like to where it was like 80 kids and something like that, or the,
Yeah.
like what it was like now it's like the 3rd graders through 8th graders, they all have
Recess.
they all have recess and they all eat at the same time together.
Yeah, but previously it was more split up.
Yeah.
So our school has kind of declined and gotten smaller and smaller, forcing everybody to. And I'm saying this as a pro. We've all became closer and
Yeah.
we're tighter knit,
Yeah.
which could also be somewhat of a con. Again,
Yeah.
knowing everybody is a pro and a con at
Yeah.
the same time. But speaking on other pros,
Just other pros of
other pros of a small school.
Okay, so definitely, I mean, for me, pros for a small school, you create better friends because like you said, we don't know a whole lot of people, so
Yeah,
you get to
you generally become close with the people that you do know.
Yeah, you
the
gotta
people.
make friends
Yeah,
with
exactly. The
people
people that you
that
do know, you start to become way closer to them, and you're way better friends with them. And you create way better of a brotherhood or a sisterhood with them, and that's one of the pros. And then another pro is just like the experiences that you get to have, like with your friends.
Yeah,
Like, for example, we did a karate tournament. That was really cool.
Yeah.
There's a lot of experiences. There was a lot of good spars and stuff like that. There was a bunch of good workouts. We cried together. We had good times together. And we also joked around and laughed a bunch together. Like it's just the experiences, the fun experiences that you have in your friendships that's like the base of your friendships. How much can you guys get along? How much can you guys joke around together? How serious can you guys be? How much can you guys help each other out? That's what really creates this brotherhood or sisterhood. And with being at a small school has really helped with that, because
because you're always around those people. There's always time to grow with them. Yeah, I completely agree. And our small school is like way different from all these other small schools. We got taught financials, martial arts, and all these financial martial arts. We did like sword fighting, and like archery, MMA. There's so many things that we've done that is just so much different than all these other small schools. So I think our experiences with small schools are definitely different than other people's experiences. And
another a pro for me at least would with friends and everything, you get so close. That's a pro for me as well. But another pro would be the academic, is because there's not so much people. You could get more one-on-ones. Like if you need help, it's a little bit more like the teacher, and then like you guys get to know each other better because it's more not just so many kids. So I feel like academics is another pro.
That's very true. So, but something that I did experience that like kind of was a little bit of a con was, so our teacher teached 3 grades pretty much every year, but one time she had to teach, I think it was 4. It was my 7th grade year. She had to teach 4. But the one con, I guess, that would be having multiple grades in the classroom is it doesn't go against what you said, but it academically you might not actually get the one-on-one time that you need, because she's doing so many different lessons, and so it would always have always be a
con to it.
Pro and con. But sometimes she's open and sometimes she can help you out, but most of the time
pretty busy.
Most of the time she's pretty busy, but
Because you have to teach.
and then so that means the pro for a big school is that you have one teacher for grade. You have one teacher for one grade in a certain subject. So they do the lesson, and if you need help with something, you can go up to them anytime.
Yeah, I did kind of get that a little confused.
What you said was 100% correct. And I 100% agree, because I feel like I do have a very strong connection with my teacher. I know Cyrus does. You literally went to her house to do freaking
schoolwork.
to do schoolwork.
That's my mom, dude. I literally had Cyrus over because my mom is our teacher.
Yeah.
We had Cyrus over and we just did work together. But
so that's
where it's a lot closer than big schools. You don't really get that one-on-one opportunity or quite that much of a connection to these other people.
And we also didn't have periods either.
No, it was just one class.
Just one classroom.
We jumped around from Seabass's class.
Well, but that
technically
was
one class.
Technically one classroom, but we had the option to if we wanted to go to Seabass's or not.
Yeah, and I think another thing, because we really did talk about all these connections and how we're like a brotherhood. I think one major thing that eliminates is drama.
Oh my God!
For the past 2 years, there has been little to no drama at our school, and it is a breath of fresh air.
Oh my God, if there is, it gets easily resolved.
It gets resolved like that. It's so nice. I mean, a couple times when there has been drama.
Yeah.
I guess this could be a con because there has been drama, and it's kind of.
But drama's gonna happen.
Drama's gonna happen if you're at a big school or a small school.
Yeah.
But I think a small school drama is kind of harder to escape because everyone's so close. I think it's harder to escape, but it's also easier because you're gonna be able to talk it out.
Right.
You have more of a connection with the people you may have drama.
Yeah, and plus, like, at a smaller school, okay, so let me put this like this. Okay, at a big school, right?
Yeah.
You have a bunch of different groups.
Yeah.
So there's gonna be a bunch of different.
There's all these cliques.
Yeah, there's all these cliques.
Beefing with each other.
And there's more than one drama group.
Yeah.
At a small school, if there's any drama, it's usually just one group.
Yeah.
So it's actually pretty easy to
To kind of resolve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's just
common
With
one
a big school, say I have to go around a big school and clean up all the trash.
Mhm.
Because of it being a bigger school and there's a bunch of kids, I'm gonna have to go around the whole entire school.
Yeah.
If it's just a small school and there's not a bunch of kids and they're all in one place, then I can just go
Yeah.
to that area. I don't have to go
Yeah.
around the whole thing. Same thing
Yeah.
with drama. It's
Yeah.
easier to clean up the small school drama than the big school drama.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
it's
because
literally
there's a
just
lot less.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just right here in this one area, and then for the bigger school, there's drama here in this grade, drama here in this grade, drama here in this grade.
Uh-huh.
And they're always going like back and forth with each other, and I think that's just really nice to where there's no cliques
Yeah.
that are always beefing with each other and trying to go at each other. So, I mean, now that's I kind of say like most of the pros
Mhm.
of a small school. Now I guess just comparing and contrasting, your older schools to the school you're at now. What are the differences? What is the difference of your previous small school to this small school now?
So, we've said it a few times, it's brotherhood.
Oh,
So
yeah.
at my other small school, it's so small to where you kind of need to have a brotherhood to have a strong
Yeah.
relationship with everybody. But I still feel I was still friends with 8th graders and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I still feel like they were separated. I don't feel like it was just all one big group, like how it is at the school that we were just at.
I think it's just because they don't have a character club. They don't have commonality where they can all kind of be
Mhm.
together
Yeah.
and practice and grow together,
Yeah.
which
I'm-
ultimately will bring you guys.
Yeah, and another big difference is at my old school, it was really small. And at small schools, there's not going to be too much opportunities as there is at a big school. But there wasn't too much opportunities other than sports. I mean, we still didn't really get to play much sports. I think we played basketball, softball,
Soccer.
volleyball. Wait, no, we didn't even play volleyball, did we?
You guys.
Yeah, you guys play
Yeah,
volleyball.
we
You guys did.
You guys play
But
volleyball
yeah, but
and
then-
soccer too, right?
Yeah. So we pretty much did play all sports. But this year, after I
No
moved to my new
sports.
school, they didn't play any sports.
Mm-mm.
So I mean,
And they were our rivalry too. We never got our
Yeah.
we got our
Trophy back.
our
Yeah, we
pan
never got
back.
it back.
I know. So
You were really
Dustin,
looking to smack them.
Yeah.
I
We
mean,
won
you're
every sport.
Yeah. So you're destined to have less opportunities, but at the school I just moved to, my newer school, there was so much more opportunities than there was in my old school. It still was a small school, so
Yeah.
there's not crzy opportunities. But I had,
It was
Opportun-
financial.
yes.
It was mixed martial arts.
yeah,
It was. There's a podcast that we're literally doing right now. That's
Yeah.
just going to give us
Opportunities
so
for sports.
much opportunities.
Yeah.
yeah,
There was opportunities through sports, through all these other things that we're doing.
Yeah.
So while most small schools, there's little to no opportunity, I think our small school was different in the sense we did have opportunity with the
Uh-huh.
things that we
Yeah.
did.
and the character club is pretty much what gave us all those opportunities, and I feel like that's a massive, drastic difference. Is we have a character club that we all can,
Being and
be in, and then we just all learn different sorts of things. Imagine as a pie, the character club brings multiple sections of pie. There's financials, and then there's MMA, and then there's all these other stuff that it brings with it. So I feel
Yeah.
like that's a big difference.
Yeah. I have a question for Jake because we both went to bigger schools.
Uh.
This is how it felt for me. Did it feel like the older kids they thought that, but just because they were in a higher grade,
Oh, they thought they were
they
better.
thought they were
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
For example, so I would always go out and play soccer every single recess, right?
Mhm.
They'd always be like, "Hey, no, it's third graders only, And technically, I was supposed to be in their class. Okay, so my first
yeah,
kindergarten
actually.
year, I was with all those kids. I was with that kid that tried to choke me, but I got held back, and so they were in the next grade. So they thought just because they were in third grade that they can just exclude all the other kids. Meanwhile, at our school, I'm an 8th grader. I'm playing quarterback at recess, and this first grader comes up to me and says, "Hey, can I play running back or something like that?" And it's definitely a teaching point for them, but I like putting myself
You like to
helping kids that are younger than me. I don't get how kids can be so. I don't get how kids my age can be so rude to little kids and just
Yeah.
exclude them.
And
and we had the head of project, Sir Nick.
Mm.
He came out, and when he was kind of talking about the podcast, why he chose us for the to have the podcast, and it was because of our like family like ties, where
Yeah.
everyone is so closely knit together, where we are like older siblings in a sense to these younger kids, where we help them.
Yeah.
We don't put them down. We bring them up, and we try to help them grow and be better.
Yeah, and
as just people.
Yeah.
And like you were saying, Jaden, about a bigger school and like trying to play with people at recess. I remember every day the older kids, they'd all have a football game,
Mhm.
and then we'd always join in, and then they wouldn't. Sometimes they'd allow us, but most of the time they wouldn't allow us.
Yeah.
I remember it would be the big kids. They had majority of the field. It was like this much. They had pretend they had most of the field. And I remember there would be the little kids over here, and we didn't even really play anything. We just kind of ran around because that's all
Yeah.
we could do.
Yeah.
And then like the difference at this school,
Somebody
we
was
have
doing that.
like all of us will be playing football, the 8th graders, the 6th graders,
Yeah.
7th graders. But that we have like 3rd graders and 2nd graders playing with us as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just gives a lot more opportunity for these younger kids to grow up and not do what these older kids at these bigger schools do. These younger kids growing up at smaller schools like our school are going to be a lot different than the kids at bigger schools. Okay, then I guess kind of we've talked about a lot of these pros and how our experiences are, kind of different than other small school experiences.
Yeah.
But how many of these pros are still in all these other small schools?
Mm.
What are some of the cons to small schools?
So like I was saying earlier, it's opportunities, but also I feel like as a small school that, I mean, you're gonna get bored,
Yeah.
and like say you don't have the character club, and with how society is today, all these kids following trends, I feel like you're destined to follow trends like that, so you're not bored. And like at a smaller school, you get like at my old school, I got pretty bored, and I started to follow some trends. Like a trend was to download TikTok, or
Yeah.
everybody started getting TikTok. I did download it and
Yeah.
I got it. So that was a trend that I followed when I was at my old school. And like a difference is the character club has kept me from following trends, even though we still are at a smaller school.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think another con to a smaller school is definitely going to be less opportunity. I think at our small school it was a little bit different. Like our small school still played some of the somewhat bigger schools.
Yeah.
And
But like they weren't like every time I post like a sports clip on my story, like they ask like what team did you beat, and I say the team, and they're like, I've never heard of that school
never heard of
before.
that. Yeah.
So I guess that's one of the cons, but still like
Still,
I guess-
they're much bigger schools than us, and I think it was pretty cool and sweet that we were able to beat these schools that were bigger than us,
yeah.
and that kind of just brought us more together.
Yeah.
And then winning all the championships, we won every
Oh.
single sport this season.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
really cool.
And I think that just brought our whole school together because
Yeah.
they were every single championship we had was kind of broadcasted over the intercom,
Yeah.
and everyone heard.
Yeah,
and
this
it
was
just brought morale
this,
up.
this
in our
was
school.
this was the first year that the first year for a while that the win or like the tournament win, it would get announced on the intercom. We were super proud of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
we were at
at
assemblies.
At assemblies, like I remember like
We got to hold our trophies that we
yeah,
had.
and showed off to the whole entire school.
Yeah, I think
The
that.
30 kids that were there.
Yeah.
But no, it was still really cool. Like, I feel like when we win something, yeah, it might be a smaller school, but it still feels good because like the parents or friends, like the parents can have a conversation with us. Like it's like we know we're just really good friends with everyone. We know everyone pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it brought us even more together,
Yeah.
knowing that our school was able to win and do all these things.
Yeah.
But going back to cons of the small school.
Yeah, I was just passing on. Another con of a small school is it's so small. Well, ours isn't really like extremely small like my old one, but still decently small. nobody really knows what school you're at.
Yeah.
Because I was talking to some of my
Oh
friends.
yeah. They're like, what school's that?
Yeah, I was talking to some of my friends on football, and we were talking about what schools we go to, and then he tells me what school he goes to, and I obviously knew what school it was, and I was like, oh, okay. And then he asked what school I go to, and I tell him, he's like, what school is that?
Yeah. No, same.
Open it with the. You probably never heard of the school.
Dude,
Yeah.
yeah, that's exactly what I
And you
say.
wear gloves.
No, every time someone asks, I'm like, oh yeah, I go to this school. It's out over there. Yeah, no, we're small, but like Sparta, we're mighty.
Yeah.
So.
I remember just in AAU basketball, that's how it was. Cause I was one of the better players on my team. They were like, "What school did you go to? We didn't play you. You didn't go to one of the bigger schools." I'd be like, "Yeah, I know. No, I went to a smaller school. You probably never heard of it."
Yeah, that's what I say every time.
But yeah, that's how I always open it.
Yeah, you have to.
They had
Yeah,
no
it's a
clue what
must.
school I go to. I had to search it up just to show them what school I went to. So I guess that is a con, but also it's pretty funny in another way to bond with your friends, I guess.
Yeah.
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 I think a lot of the cons are also somewhat of the pros.
Yeah.
Because we always talk about how pro was everyone knows each other and you're much more connected with like the teachers and the staff at the school. It's a lot harder. A con would then be to that is you don't really fly under the radar. You can't really get away with these things.
Yeah.
Which I think is a better problem to have. When you're at a bigger school, people are getting away with like vaping and doing all these bad things
Yeah.
on campus. But at our school, you're not going to get away with those things. The staff is going to shut that down immediately.
Yeah.
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 It's a good thing you don't get away with those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's definitely the better problem to have. CUS always says, which problem would you rather have? The problem where you do these bad things and you get away with it, which is a lot worse than you have this problem, but it gets brought up and it gets shut down immediately, and then you're stopped from doing it.
He also says something about like you were talking about how kids get away with vaping. He says, say you find a wallet on the ground and you take the wallet. Nobody finds out. Like you're fine. You got the money. Nobody ever finds out. And he says, nobody finds out. It's fine, right? But at that point,
What are you selling to? You get this money and this wallet and all this other stuff for free, even though what you're really trading in for that is your character, your integrity, your honor, and all these other virtues. And that's why I think that as it is technically a con where you don't fly under the radar at a small school, I think it's also somewhat of a pro.
Yeah.
Because you do ultimately grow and become a better person, not flying under the radar.
Exactly. Yeah, I like that. I like that wallet story. It's really, it's. I wouldn't think most people I don't think most people would actually think of it like that deep. I don't think that they would think that you're actually.
Think of it as a big deal.
Yeah, they would just think,
Getting
I'm getting money, like no one's gonna know about it. But
But you're just selling out your character.
Yeah, and I think just being at a small school, being in a character club, we don't really think like all these other kids do. It's way different.
That's what sets us apart.
It's what sets us apart.
yeah,
And I think that's why I've kind of like grown to love the small school experience, because just the tight-knit family, growing alongside my brothers, even the brothers from another mother,
yeah,
they're still my brothers, and I've gotten to grow alongside with them, grow better, learn financials, mixed martial arts, do all these things. We went to a karate tournament together
Yeah.
and kicked karate kids' butts
yeah,
and did all these things.
yeah. We sweeped every time.
Yeah.
First, second, third, every time.
Yeah, and as you asked me, what is my preference gonna be? Small school or big school? It's gonna be small school every time because of my experiences.
Yeah,
But
100%.
we're going to a big high school.
Yeah,
Yeah.
big high school.
And that's
Yeah.
not to say that some big schools are bad or that you're not gonna like your school. It's just that from our experiences that we like smaller schools better.
100%.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, and obviously it's gonna vary on what big school or what small school you go to. But I think we definitely got lucky with the small school that we went to,
Yeah.
where we were given all these different opportunities.
Yeah, and I know Cyrus, like he's been mostly at our school for a while, but he did skip 6th grade, and he went to a bigger school. Like, how was your what were some of the main things that like happened at your other school, or just some experiences that happened?
I would say like the main difference between the school that we go to and the school that I went to was that it was not like a family. When I went to the school that I went to, everybody was just so like set apart. There was no family bond, and that's what I was saying. That's basically what sets it apart. And
Yeah.
also at the school that I went to, there was just a lot of bullying. Nobody got along, and there's just a lot of drama. And
I
that's
feel like
really what sets it apart.
yeah, I feel like a difference from a big school, a small school, from my experience, is nobody holds each other accountable at a big school like we do at a small school. Even though I didn't really have good character when I was at my big school, if I say I did have good character before I went to the big school, I feel like my character would start to fall and it would start to decrease because nobody holds each other accountable.
Yeah.
You get away with these things that aren't good.
That's another thing we kind of talked about in the last pod. Like, one of the things that you said was, I really like this school because everybody kind of keeps each other accountable, and there's that brotherhood that we don't ever want our brother to fall off on a bad path, and because we really care about our brothers. And so that's one thing that's super special about small schools. And just because this school, or just because this small school has a brotherhood or a character club, doesn't mean every small school is going to have one. So I would say for everybody who's watching this podcast, if you do go to a small school, to try to build something.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be something as big as like what we did, but try to build something. Try to build some type of
Take advantage.
club or community or something. Just try your hardest. And if you do, then say you go to a small elementary school or a small middle school. When you go to high school, because there's not really too many small high schools, because high schools are usually going to be bigger than the school that you go to. So if you build the small community in your small school, hopefully when you go to high school you can maybe build
That
up
can
on that.
carry on.
Yeah.
And with a small school, it's a lot easier to have influence at a small school because everyone's like a community.
Mhm.
You can really create a group and bring everyone together
Yeah.
So yeah, you
with
could
influence at a small school.
so take advantage if you are at a small school of who you can influence so easily because you're at a smaller school.
Mm-hmm.
So do something with that influence.
Yeah, don't take advantage of it in a bad way and
Uh-huh.
start doing all these bad things with this group, but really, capitalize on this and create your own character group, your own group of integrity where you strive to be better and grow as a community.
Yeah, I think that, like, kind of like what I was just saying, like, because you know what they say, they say, start small and big. I don't know who says that. I say that, but that's kind of what I was thinking. It's kind of just what we're saying here. Start at a smaller school, and at a big school. Well, don't even end at a big school. Like,
End with something big.
Yeah.
like, keep on growing even after you're done with school. You know what I mean? Like, don't stop just because you graduate or something like that. Just keep on trying to
Always
get
strive
bigger.
to
But
be
you
better.
can't ever start at level 100. You have to start at level 0.
Yeah. I mean,
and then you'll really be ready for level 100 when you get there because you'll go along each level and grow better and better and better.
Exactly.
yeah. And then like you were saying, after you graduate, keep going. You guys are going into high school. I mean, I'm excited for the opportunities that you guys are going to bring to the podcast. I'm also a little sad that you guys are growing up without me, but I feel like ultimately it's going to be a good growth in the podcast.
Yeah.
Because then you're going to be the leader at the small school.
Yeah.
Because generally the leaders were like Jaden, Cyrus, and I, and you were there, and Zane was there too. But without us, you guys really have to step up, and you guys are becoming the new leaders on the campus.
Yeah. Something that I said in my 8th grade speech. I said something that I'm super excited for, or to go to high school for, is to grow ourselves, but also to grow the podcast. And because I think the
There's going to be a lot of opportunities coming into high school.
exactly
Yeah.
we'll be able to we might be able to post it around the campus, somewhere a little flyer that says something about our podcast.
It's a lot easier to get
watch
the
it.
word out.
Yeah.
because you'll know everybody there.
Yeah, and something also with like building a small community. So around what Christmas last year? Well, not 2023 Christmas, but 2022 Christmas.
Yeah.
We started. Cyrus got a pair of like shark slides, and we thought it was really cool, and so I brought a shark slide, sea bass. So the good old mighty shark slide.
This is just a prime example of influence out of
Yeah,
school.
and there's people that wear the shark slides, but like, you know, you can't wear the shark slides without having that shark mentality. You know what I'm saying?
We wore them differently.
Yeah, you see
Yeah.
many people, like even at Shasta High School where we're going,
Yeah.
people wear the shark slide,
Yeah,
but they just
they don't
not
got
the
that
same.
shark mentality.
It's
Yeah.
not the same.
So all of us here and more people at our school have shark slides. It's a very it's a good trend. It's a good trend. It's not a bad trend.
yeah, I think it brought us more, like brought everyone together.
Yeah, exactly.
We had like a group of 10, 11 people wearing shark slides, showing up on the same day, not even talked about it.
My brother has shark slides and he sticks his feet
Oh my God.
like that out of his shark
Those are
slides.
bad.
I'm like, dude.
I mean,
Like,
yeah.
whenever I see him, not a touchdown. Incomplete. But yeah, going into high school is gonna be a much different experience than the small school that we've been to. And
Yeah.
I'm really excited to take this next step.
Mhm.
But whenever someone asks me what is your favorite, it's definitely always gonna be going back to my childhood memories
Hmm.
of at a small school, growing with this community,
Yeah.
and because this all set me up and got me ready to go to high school
Yeah.
and to take this leap.
Yeah, and
But it's small school experience is forever gonna be my favorite.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same for me.
And now we're not gonna have like Seabass to help us out. This is the real test. When we talk about virtue, it's not about like when you're in a good mood or anything. It's about the most virtuous.
Is when it's the hardest thing to do because
Yeah.
virtue by definition is something.
It's
To
tough.
describe that.
It's hard. It's hard to get through. And so us going through high school is actually gonna put us through the first 4 years of life. It's a test to see if we can do things
If
on
we
our
can
own.
do this on our own.
See if we can stay on track. See if we can stick to what we believe in, stick to our values, and keep on doing what we do best throughout high school, and not
Exactly, yeah.
giving up just because we don't have anyone to keep us disciplined every single day.
And I think I'm ready to tackle this challenge. I'm
Fam.
ready to tackle this challenge. Wow, Jacob.
It was a
But
challenge.
I'm ready to tackle this challenge with you guys.
Yeah.
And I really want to just say thank you to the people that were at my small school that helped me grow all the way from when I was just a little kindergartner
Yeah.
with my pants covering over my shoes to
With
then
your
being
long
eighth
hair.
grader graduating. But yeah, I just want to say thank you to you guys especially.
Of
'cause
course.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
This year has
Yeah, thank
been
you.
my favorite year at this small school.
Yeah.
Really coming together, creating this podcast, and doing all of these new things that we've never done before.
You know what's funny? We say this year has been the best year every single year. Every single year. Like you can okay,
This
so
gets better each
I made
year.
it. I made an Instagram post and I said for my 7th grade year and I said this year has been the best one yet, and I'm pretty sure I didn't make an 8th grade post or I made a graduation post, but I'm pretty sure I said like I might not have, but I definitely think this year was the best year. But I say that about every year. It's just things just keep on getting
Every
better.
year we
We
accomplish
keep on
more and more
leveling up.
things.
Like I said, we started small, keep on getting bigger. We think level 75 is the best level ever, but then we get to level
Oh, you get to
76 and
level
it's way better.
Yeah. You go all the way to level 100 and you graduate, and
Yeah.
that's the best year. But then we're gonna be saying the same thing with our freshman year. But yeah, so just really want to thank you guys for being watching the podcast, tuning in, and really make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell, so you're tuned into all these next episodes. And thank you guys so much.
Yeah,
We're
thank
out.
you very much.
Thank you.
See you guys later.